Been a very busy man over the last few days. Sorry for no uploads, but I have to talk about the two games against the Nationals. I'll kind of recap the series against the Tigers. I don't really need to go over every single game. The Cardinals did lose 2 out of 3, and they lost the first game against the Nationals, won last night, and they go today. As I'm recording this, first pitch will be in about 2 hours. So let's talk about the Tigers series first and my key takeaways from that series. Game 1 of the series, I really don't feel like there was much to be expected. You're going up against a very tough left-hander in Framber Valdez. And as we know anything from the last couple of seasons, the Cardinals struggle a lot with left-handed pitching, especially when you have a lefty like Framber Valdez, a lefty who has good swing and miss stuff, has one of the highest ground ball rates in all of Major League Baseball. It was just a very bad matchup for the Cardinals, although we've really gotten to Framber in his career when he was in Houston, but first time in Detroit, it was a pretty different story as the Tigers won their home opener 4-0. Game 2 had a big storyline. We were looking to see if Dustin May could bounce back from the horrible start he had against the Tampa Bay Rays. And long story short, that was simply not the case. His struggles still continued. He has now pitched 7 innings of work and has given up 13 earned runs. The line for Dustin May in Game 2 of that series, even though they only played 8 innings because it was called with a rain delay, 3 1/3, 7 runs off 7 hits. He struck out 4 and walked 2. The Cardinals did get some life in the 5th inning, down 7-1 in the 5th inning. The Cardinals put up a 5 spot in the 5th. It started with Alec Burleson hitting an RBI double, scoring J.J. Weatherholt, and then Jordan Walker came up to the plate a little later on with 2 outs and hit a 459-foot grand slam. You love to see that out of the kid, but it wasn't enough as the Tigers simply kept on scoring. The bullpen once again had its struggles. Justin Brule gave up a run in an inning and a third. Matt Swanson continues his struggles, gave up 1 run in 2 1/3, and Chris Roycroft, who has since been DFA'd, or not DFA'd, but called down to AAA, he gave up 2 runs in an inning of work. The Cardinals lost 11-6. The offense was great, but the bullpen woes still continued, and that's going to be a theme I'm going to talk about in today's video. Then on the Sunday night game of the world, the first Sunday night game on Peacock for the Cardinals shined at Comerica Park in a chilly night in Detroit, Michigan. Kyle Leahy took the start, and he was looking for a bounce back after his first start against the New York Mets. And Kyle Leahy, I thought, had a pretty good outing. He went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, struck out 4, and walked 3. He ended up earning the win in that start. Justin Verlander was supposed to start for the Tigers, but he got put on the injured list for hip inflammation. So the Tigers called up Cater Montero, and he had a pretty decent outing. He went 4 1/3, gave up 2 runs, 3 hits, struck out 3, and walked 1. The final score, 5-3, Cardinals take the win. Riley O'Brien got the save. The key hits came from Ivan Herrera in the 5th inning. The Cardinals put up a 4 spot in the bottom of the 5th after being down 2-0 thanks to a Kerry Carpenter home run. Pedro Pajes hit an RBI single that scored Nolan Gorman. Victor Scott II hit a successful sacrifice safety squeeze, which scored Nathan Church, and Scott actually got to second on a throwing error by the pitcher. Then Herrera hit a 2-run single to right field. That would make it 4-2. They would add insurance runs in the 8th when Gorman hit a sacrifice fly, scoring J.J. Weatherholt final 5-3. And they end up losing 2 out of 3 to the Tigers, which that's to be expected. Going into that series, I wasn't expecting much. You know, the Tigers, I have them as a World Series contender. They have the talent. I mean, their lineup is loaded. They have a really, really good rotation. Their manager's great. They are a very well-run organization that has talent at every position on the diamond. And on the diamond, in the dugout, in the bullpen, they are one of the most complete teams, I think, certainly in the American League. Most definitely in Major League Baseball. So going into that series, I wasn't expecting much. You know, if you lose 2 out of 3, if you win 2 out of 3, I think it's a win. And based off of this Cardinals team, which is the youngest team in Major League Baseball, going up against a team that's kind of hungry after the way their season ended last year, where they lost in 5 games to the Seattle Mariners in the division series, this team is hungry. They know that they are in a win now mentality because most likely after this year, their ace, Tarek Skubal, will not be on their team. Will he be in Dodger blue? Will he be a New York Met? Will he be a New York Yankee? Who knows? Because those are probably the only 3 teams that will be able to afford him. If baseball is even played in 2027, because we know there very well could be a lockout, especially if the Dodgers complete their three-peat this year. But losing 2 out of 3 in this series is not the end-all be-all for the Cardinals. It's how you lost one of those games. And it's been a theme for how you lost these games all year. And it's been the bullpen. And unfortunately, I don't see this theme switching anytime soon. And I'll get to more on that after we cover the first 2 games in Washington. The Cardinals should have snuck away with an opening victory in Washington on Monday night, but instead they lose 9-6. How is that possible? Well, I gotta tell you, maybe just a lot of bad luck, maybe just a lot of bad pitching. So the Cardinals had Andre Palante to start the night. He had a pretty solid outing. He had 5 innings, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. He walked 4, but he struck out 2. A very solid outing. You can win on an outing like that from your starting pitcher. Justin Brule came in relief, and he gave up a run in the 6th inning, only went 2/3 of an inning. Jojo Romero put up a scoreless frame off 2 hits and 1 walk. He put up a scoreless frame as well. He still has not allowed a run in the young start of the season. The Nationals had Zach Littell starting, and he had a really good outing. He put up 5 innings on 1 run on 4 hits, struck out 6, and walked 3. The Nationals bullpen really, really struggled. They initially brought up Ken Waldachuk, and he put up 2 1/3 innings, gave up 3 runs. And those runs all came in the 5th and 6th inning. Actually, yeah, in the 5th and 6th inning. Burleson grounded into a fielder's choice to second base. Sajacy scored. And then Ramon Arias hit a 2-run homer. That would be the line for Ken Waldachuk. He gave up those 3 earned runs. Then in the 8th, actually, no. Zach Littell gave up the run from Burleson's fielder's choice. Then came in Waldachuk. He gave up the Arias homer. And then Jordan Walker hit another homer in the 8th. This was the big Cardinal inning. Jordan Walker hit a solo homer to make it 4-3. Entering this inning, it was a tie ball game, 3 apiece. Then, after the Walker home run, Ramon Arias doubled to score Mason Wynn, making it 5-3. And then Victor Scott hit another successful safety squeeze. He's gotten so good at that. And that's going to be such a lethal weapon for the Cardinals if he can continue, not only just to stay healthy, but if he can continue to show the progress at the plate like he has. People don't really understand, but Victor Scott II this year, as entering today, is hitting 265, which is not like, it's nothing to like write home about. But from where he was last year, and you know the type of player this is not going to be a power first guy. If he can get on base 30% of the time, which is pretty much exactly what he's doing, that is a very key factor for the Cardinals in the 9-hole. And so far, he's doing it. He's doing really, really well. You know he's going to play good center field. Victor Scott, a key piece for the St. Louis Cardinals this year, and he's showing why. The madness came in the bottom of the 8th. Ryan Stanek opened the bottom of the 8th for the Cardinals. And I got to tell you, there was a lot that went wrong in this game. So Ryan Stanek pitches 2/3 of an inning, and he gives up 3 earned runs on 1 pitch. A homer by James Wood to center field, 409 feet, making it 6-6. He is then done. Matt Swanson comes into the game next for the Cardinals, and Swanson has been struggling all season. So I don't know why. I mean, you're 2/3 of the way through the 8th inning. I don't know why you bring in Riley O'Brien in this scenario. I know he had just pitched the night before, but if you want to win games, you got to bring in Riley O'Brien, Ollie. That's just something you got to do. I don't know why you would bring in Matt Swanson, who I know had a 1.94 ERA last year, but he clearly doesn't have his stuff right now. He needs to work on it a little bit more. Let him work on it in some long relief innings. Bring him in the 6th, 7th. You got to work your way back to being that 7th, 8th, 9th inning guy. But he brought in Matt Swanson, nonetheless. And he goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up 3 runs off 2 home runs. The Nationals hit 3 home runs in the bottom of the 8th. It started with a homer by House, 423 feet to dead center field, a 2-run shot, making it 8-6. and then CJ Abrams homered right after a solo shot, making it 9-6. That would be your final. Matt Swanson earns the loss. Another tough outing for him. The bright sides, though, in this game, I mean, Ramon Arias has shown to be a very vital utility piece for the Cardinals at third base. He's hitting he was hitting 313 after that game. Currently entering tonight, he is still hitting 313, 2 homers, 4 RBIs, a 1.201 OPS. Very, very impressive stuff to see from Ramon Arias. And also another impressive thing to see, Jordan Walker. I mean, I know we've talked about him, but he is shown to be really, really good. His improvements, whatever he's done at the plate in the offseason, has really taken into full effect. He is easily the best hitter right now on the St. Louis Cardinals, hitting 300 entering tonight, leading the team in homers and RBIs, and leading the team in average. He currently has the Cardinals triple crown under his belt. Granted, I know we are 11 games into the season, but also, it's just fun to see. Let's talk about the game that also happened last night between the Cardinals and the Nationals. The Cardinals ended up sneaking away with an extra inning win, 7-6 over Washington. We're going to talk about it. George Soriano had huge innings of relief, and that is something you really want to see out of a team that desperately needs bullpen help, and they actually got a good amount of bullpen help from tonight. Now, they still somehow managed to make it very, very close. Now, it's always close when it goes to extra innings. But Gordon Graceffo, Matthew Liberatore, let's start with Matthew Liberatore. I'm getting ahead of myself. Matthew Liberatore had his first bad outing of the year, and this was to be expected. We knew Matthew Liberatore was not going to be a 1.8 ERA type of pitcher throughout the whole 2026 season. But he still had a winnable outing, even though it wasn't really that great. Liberatore's outing, he went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs on 9 hits, struck out 6, walked 2. The big thing, he gave up 2 home runs, 1 to James Wood and 1 to Meade. Both of them, luckily, were solo shots, so no extra damage done there. The Cardinals had to rally back down 5-2. It started in the 7th when Jordan Walker once again hit a home run to right center field, his 4th of the year, making it 5-3. Nathan Church came up in the 8th, tied the game with a 2-run homer. 5-5 we go. Then in the 10th, Sajacy hits an RBI double, scoring the ghost runner Mason Wynn, 6-5 the score. And then with 2 outs, J.J. Weatherholt would double, scoring Sajacy 7-5. They would end up holding on to get the win, 7-6 your final. Riley O'Brien gets his 3rd save of the season. George Soriano gets the win. How about George Soriano, ladies and gentlemen? A lot of people had not a little bit of faith in George Soriano, and especially this bullpen has had a little bit of a switch up. Gordon Graceffo had 2 innings of relief tonight, and he gave up only 1 run on 1 hit. He struck out 2, walked 2. Gordon Graceffo has a 1.93 ERA on the season. He's had a really, really good start to the year so far. George Soriano also has had a really good start to the year. This was his best outing yet. I understand he had pretty bad outings to start, but this was a really good sign to see from the young George Soriano, who has really electric stuff. He put up 2 scoreless innings, 2 no-hit innings, and 3 strikeouts. It actually was 2 perfect innings. He didn't walk a single batter. Great stuff from George Soriano. His ERA is now down to a 3 flat, and Riley O'Brien has still yet to give up an earned run this season. His ERA sits at a flat 0. Cardinals get the win 7-6 over Washington. For the Cardinals, 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The winning pitcher was George Soriano. They left 11 on base, went 4 for 16 with runners in scoring position. For the Nationals, 6 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. Losing pitcher is Cole Henry. The Nationals left 9 on base and went 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position. I saw something the other day, and I think it was actually on the broadcast of this game while I was out and about. The Cardinals bullpen is the weakness of this team, and that is a complete flip-flop from what it was last year. The bullpen was actually really solid for the Cardinals last year. It wasn't like one of the highest-end bullpens in baseball, but it was something that the Cardinals could consistently rely on. That is not the case at all this year. They showed a graphic during the broadcast, and I don't remember the numbers exactly off the top of my head, but they had the graphic was the most runs allowed from the 6th inning on per team. And the Cardinals had, I believe, the 4th most runs allowed. And I think the number entering that game was 57. 57 runs allowed from the 6th inning on, which tonight, that makes that they added 2 more. So now they have 59 runs allowed through 11 games. They're averaging 5, almost 6 runs a game allowed from the 6th inning on. That is horrific. That is how you lose games. And yet somehow, some way, ladies and gentlemen, the Cardinals sit here today with a winning record. And I don't know, I really don't know how that's possible. Unfortunately, this is going to be a theme that I think continues all year long. I don't think the Cardinals have the talent to improve the bullpen. And this isn't going to be a team that buys for a bullpen piece. Maybe if they're competing well enough at the trade deadline, we'll see. We'll have to see how Milwaukee finishes out. Obviously, I think the Cubs, I know they just lost Cade Horton for the season, which sucks. Not really for me, but for them. I know that they just lost Cade Horton, so they're probably going to be buying, and I think that they still have the talent to improve how they're playing. The Pirates look to be competing. The Reds look to be competing. We know Milwaukee will always be in the mix. So we're going to have to see how the Central plays out this year. If the Cardinals are in somewhat contention at the trade deadline, there is a good chance that they could be buying for a bullpen spot at the trade deadline, if not make a move prior before that, because who knows what Chaim Bloom is going to do with this organization. But when you have a bullpen that consists of JoJo Romero and Riley O'Brien, and those are your only 2 names that you can consistently rely on. JoJo Romero has yet to give up a run this season. Riley O'Brien has yet to give up a run this season. You have Gordon Graceffo, who pitched yesterday through 2 innings of work. He has a 1.93 ERA and a whip of 1.07. He has had a really, really fantastic start to the season. He's pitched 4 games this year, and in 4 2/3 innings, he's given up 1 run on 1 hit, and that 1 run came last night. So he's had a really fantastic start to the year. But the problem is it's the bullpen as a whole. And I think Bernie Michaelis made a column on NHL Sports Central. I need to see. I gotta find it. So this isn't the full column, but this is what Bernie has to say. So the Cardinals, obviously, as we enter tonight, are 6-5. They are currently 4th in the NL Central, currently 2 games back of Cincinnati and Milwaukee. So let's take a look at this. Bernie Michaelis writes, in St. Louis's 5 losses this season through Monday, the Cards relievers have been blasted for a 7.65 earned run average, 17 earned runs in 20 innings. Horrible. 26 hits, 15 walks, 2 hit batters, 5 home runs, 2 doubles, 2 sac flies, and 5 home runs in 20 innings during the 5 losses. Only 13 strikeouts. That's horrible. The ball, Bernie said it perfectly, the ball is in play way too much. And that is something that you just can't have out of your bullpen. You need guys in your bullpen who can get a swing and miss. And the only 2 guys who can get a swing and miss are JoJo Romero and Riley O'Brien. And JoJo Romero isn't really even a strikeout pitcher. He has the nasty stuff. Like, he has a really good sinker. He has a really, really nasty slider. And the fastball sits around 94, 95 with a little rise. So JoJo Romero can get a swing and miss, but that's just not the type of pitcher he is. Riley O'Brien is your real only swing and miss type of guy. And he is your closer. And that's what that's a good thing. But he can't be the only swing and miss guy in your bullpen. He just can't be. It's not going to work out that way. And I know the Cardinals are not like, their front mindset this year is not to compete for a World Series. Granted, if they have the chance, they're going to take that chance either way. But at the same time, that's not what we entered the season thinking. We were not entering the season thinking that this team was going to be able to compete for a World Series. So it's not like I think the front office is going to do anything to fix this problem unless they're competing at the deadline, which if they play like this and their bullpen figures it out, all you have to do is be a winning team at home and a 500 team on the road, and you have a chance to make the dance. And once you make the dance, anything can happen. Bernie wrote a little bit after this, in the 5 defeats, the Cardinals relievers have been smoked for a 321 batting average, a 426 on base, 556 slug, and a 982 OPS. That's horrible. I mean, that is straight up garbage. Hitters are feasting when our bullpen gets brought up into the game. That's why it is going to be very important. I think Oliver Marmol is starting to realize it. Unless pitchers are having a really bad outing, you are going to need the starters, because outside of Dustin May, the starting pitching so far has been really, really good. Liberatore has had 2 very solid starts. Michael McGreevy looks fantastic. He's going to go today against the Nationals. Miles Michaelis taking the mound for the Nationals today, too. We'll see how that plays out. Palante has had a solid start to the year. I don't think he'll be able to hold up his pace. And we'll see how Kyle Leahy does in his first full year as a starter. He had a nice bounce-back start against the Tigers on Sunday Night Baseball. I think that the starting pitching is going to be the strength of the pitching staff, while you're going to have to rely on your 7th, 8th, 9th inning guys. The only problem is that JoJo Romero and Riley O'Brien, JoJo Romero will pitch the 8th, Riley O'Brien will pitch the 9th. You have to find your 7th inning guy, because it used to be Matt Swanson, and right now it's not. It's not Matt Swanson. I think right now, looking at the Cardinals pitching rotation, they've been going with Ryan Stanek. And Ryan Stanek had a couple of very solid outings, at least until last night. My guess would be they're going to continue to go with Ryan Stanek, but I don't know. I don't think that's a very good option. I think honestly, give the chance to Gordon Graceffo. And I know they don't want to give the chance to Gordon Graceffo, not because they don't believe in the kid, but because Gordon Graceffo was a starting pitcher, and he's now being turned into a reliever. So they want him to be able to eat innings in case the starter has a very bad outing and has to get pulled early. So I think they want to keep Graceffo in the long relief role, which makes sense. But at the same time, this dude has a 1.93 ERA and has not given up he only gave up 1 run in 1 start this year, or 1 appearance. So I don't know. I think they need to do a little bit of a shakeup as to who comes in the 7th inning, because right now it can't be Jared Schuster. It certainly can't be Matt Swanson. And I really don't trust Ryan Stanek either. Even though he does have a lot of swing and miss stuff, I don't really trust him. Maybe if George Soriano picks it up, George Soriano has nice swing and miss stuff. But I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with this bullpen. If you want me to be pretty honest, I don't know. I don't know. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Jordan Walker. And Jordan Walker, I know we talked about his Baseball Savant page about a week or so ago, and I just want to give you an update on what it looks like. It still is a whole lot of red, and that is what you love to see, especially from a guy who was once the top prospect in the Cardinals organization, who had a very successful rookie year. A lot of people forget that his rookie year was actually pretty decent, and 2024 and 2025 has just not been the case. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Walker last year hit 6 home runs. He already has 4. In 2024, he only hit 5 home runs. He has 4 already this year. He's had a career high in batting average, a career high on base, career high slug, a 1.014 OPS for the season. Now, will that number stand? Probably not. There probably will be some more regression. But at the same time, if this is the type of Jordan Walker we're going to be seeing all year, which there is nothing to make me think that he can't do this, because the potential has always been there. Look at this. Look at this Baseball Savant page. Expected batting average of 309. So that means that he's getting kind of unlucky in certain situations. XwOBA 453. Xslug 712. He's insane. 100th percentile in average exit velocity at 97.5 mile per hour. He is hitting the piss out of the ball. 25% barrel rate, top 97%. 71.4% hard hit rate, unbelievable. 78.4 mile an hour bat speed, 99th percentile. His squared up rate is down from is up from a year ago. Chase rate is down from a year ago. The whiff rate is still one of the worst in baseball, but it's not too bad from where it was a year ago. The K rate is down 3%, and the walk rate is at a career high. What is not to love about Jordan Walker? I mean, come on. The Cardinals are probably playing right now, as you see this video, taking on the Nationals for Game 3, the final game of a 3-game set. Miles Michaelis, former Cardinal, taking the mound for the Nationals. Hopefully it could be a home run fest for the Cardinals. That is a must-win game to be 7-5 going into your second homestand of the year against the Boston Red Sox this weekend. Michael McGreevy will get the start for the Cardinals, 0-1 with a 2.53 ERA. The Cardinals lineup has already been announced. J.J. Weatherholt leads off, hits second. Iran Herrera doing the catching, batting second. Alec Burleson will play first base and hit third. Jordan Walker, right field, hitting cleanup. Nolan Gorman is the DH. He will hit fifth. Mason Wynn is a shortstop. He will bat sixth. Ramon Arias bats seventh and plays third base. Thomas Ajacey getting another start in left field. He hits eighth. And Victor Scott II will take the day off. It will be Nathan Church batting ninth, playing center field. So it's Weatherholt, Herrera, Burleson, Walker, Gorman, Wynn, Arias, Surjacey, Nathan Church, with Michael McGreevy taking the mound. A 3:05 first pitch. Hopefully we're talking about the Redbird winner on Friday and previewing the Red Sox series with the Cardinals being 7-5. Thank you for watching another episode of Cardinal Compass. I'll see y'all then.